All right, hello and welcome to 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Today is personal, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Today is about what I refer to as punished for performance. And I'm going to start this off by asking one important question. What the car business? Why do we feel it necessary to punish our people for performance? And what I mean by that is screwing and taking away their money. That's what this is about. And that's what today is all about, because it's happened to me. And over the next several minutes, I'm going to not only tell you my story, but I'm going to tell you other people's story. Some friends, some just LinkedIn associates at this point who are experiencing the same thing. And I got to tell you, having this podcast allows me the opportunity to say things that I wouldn't normally say if I were A, working for a large corporation, or B, working at a dealership out of fear of losing my job. But because I don't have that fear, because I want people to understand that what I'm talking about is extremely serious and has to be dealt with right away. So when I talk about punish for performance, what I'm talking about is my own personal situation. I was a top performer at a store out west for a long time, doing a great job, had an unbelievable year, bought the house of my dreams. Wife and I were really happy. Everything was where it should be. After a banner year, I was told in the middle of a recession that things were going to change. And it wasn't because I wasn't good at my job. It was just they felt they were paying me too much for the job that I was doing. I know, right? It sounds absolutely crazy, but it's really what happened. And I didn't at the time really realize how much of an epidemic this was. I thought it was just my owner, my place, that was it. But after I got on my own, I saw it was not the case. And when you think about it, there were warning signs along the way. For instance, sane folks, good people, at the end of the day, we're all friends now, but in the midst of it, we probably weren't the happiest with one another. I was charged to take an extra 3 days off for my wedding, $500 a day. $500 a day. My wife had major surgery. It's just her and I who live out west. We don't have other family or support. I needed to be there for my wife. It was scheduled a year in advance. Same $500 a day. People ask me, Sean, why would you go to work? Why would you stay at work? They were gigantic paychecks, and I always told my owner, sure to hit me, you could do whatever you want. The difference now is that being on the outside looking in, I see it's happening everywhere. It is a huge, huge issue. It's humongous. It's a ridiculous size issue. So the next issue I have, right, is why does it happen? Does it happen because we have a power struggle? Does it happen because we don't know any better? Or does it happen because you can't, as a manager, just fathom the idea that someone made more money for you doing not a job that you were doing? If that's the case, then shame on all of us. Because this job is hard enough without having people go ahead and make any changes to your money. Just because you dominated your pay plan, you worked your pay plan, which is what our industry does, you're penalized for it. And to me, that is absolute bull. Period. That's how I feel about it. So if we stop with my story, and we'll move on to another story. A buddy of mine runs multiple stores out west as a finance director. By the way, he is only a finance director in title, not in pay. Another standard practice in our lovely industry. And he goes out in January, and at the end of January has a bit of a family things come up. Guy needs to take a few days off at the end of the year. I know, my gosh, it's the worst time ever to take time off. But give me a break. We'll be here next year. It's 3 days. It's not the end of the world. But just because you have to be at work means no one else can be at work. So again, we get into personalities, not actual realities. And so here's my boy, right? Working his tail off. He brings in record profits to this dealership's group finance department in the millions. That's right. Millions of dollars of profit. And yes, as his position dictates, he is paid a percentage of it. A good percentage for the work that he has done. A fair deal for all parties involved. But it turns out when he walks in January 5th or whatever it was, they said, yep, great year, great job, record profits. We're so proud of you. we just paid you too much of our profits, so we're going to have to go ahead and change that pay plan for the coming year. My boy, within all rights, asked, well, how did we get here? Well, we got here because this is our dealership, this is what we do, and this is how we feel about it. Okay, great. Now, what does he do? Unfortunately, he sticks his job. He keeps it because he has to, because he's smart. He knows that he can make money there, but now he's not happy. Now he doesn't know what to do with himself. Where's his motivation for 2018? Why should he care as much as he did in 2017 when if he does bring in more money than he did in 17 and 18, he's going to be paid 30% less than he was last year for making these people even more money. And if he does it again, what's to say they don't come to him in 2019 and tear him back 50 to 60%? And don't come on here and try to make excuses for this behavior. It's inexcusable. Period. And I think the biggest thing that pisses me off about this whole thing is that I go to these conferences. I either speak at them or I sit in them. I go to workshops. I listen to webinars. I mean, we do our damnedest to take on as much as we can of hearing what's going on in the industry. And all I hear about is, I don't know how to keep my people. I don't know how to retain and pay them. You know what? Stop with their money. Maybe that'll help you keep people around. Just a thought. I don't know if I'm right, but my assumption is if we stop with their money, then we probably get what we're looking for out of people. So, I'm going to say, okay, Sean, you're only talking about you and your friends. Fine. I'll give you one last part of this. I was on LinkedIn, young man, good guy, young kid, works hard. Colin Thomas is his name. Colin had a post on LinkedIn. I'm going to read it to you really quickly. Here's how it starts. He's working hard. He's doing everything right, and we're about to slap him in the face. On the phone with a new BDC manager whose dealer is changing his BDC agent pay plan from $11 an hour to just over $8, which is 25 cents above minimum wage. The average BDC rep at this store sells 15 cars. The average profit is $3,000 a unit. Now, Colin, I'll stop you here. Unless they're cradle to grave, BDC agents sell nothing, but I see your point. In summary, the average BDC rep brings in $45,000. Again, if you look at his point, the car deals and appointments that they bring in, that's what he's talking about. And Colin, I tell you to take it a step further. Look at all the deals they bring in and don't sell. It's probably more than that if you want to start accounting for things. But again, if they don't sell cars, they don't account for gross profit. Here we go. $45,000 profit into the house every month, and the BDC manager is about to deliver news to his team that will have them running to his competition for $500 a month because the GM got pissed off one of his, in quotes, glorified secretaries, as he put it, make $4,000 last month. I ask you, who gives up? This kid made $4,000 if, in fact, he brought in 15 sales that resulted in $45,000. I'm not giving you credit for it. I'm simply asking you to look at the mathematics behind it. That's what I want you to do. Colin's not wrong. This post has gone off. As of this morning, it's 28 likes, 28 comments, and all the comments are the same. Oh my God, how did this happen? Oh my God, is this illegal? No, it's not illegal. I wish it was illegal, but it's not. It's a right to work state, will to work, whatever you want to call it. This is what's going on in our industry. My business partner I've known him 25 years. When I sold cars and I had this happen to me, he said, what do you mean, just quit? What do you mean, go call a lawyer? Well, I can't quit because this guy cashes the biggest checks in town. I need that because our business does this. Our business knows when we need them more than they need us. Don't fool yourself. If you think for a second that isn't what happened, if you don't think my boy's pay out west was cut because he wasn't at work the last week of the year for a couple days, you're mistaken. It certainly did play a part in it, and that disgusted me. This entire thing disgusted me, and that's why I wanted to bring it to the podcast. I don't want people to feel like there's no one out here talking on their behalf, because we certainly are. And if you guys want to continue this habit, then yes, you will get outsourced by Amazon. Yes, you will get put through the ringer. But if you want to stop this BS from happening, it's up to you guys. It's always been up to you guys. So let's go ahead and stop this behavior. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Period. So as always, I'm butted right up against my time. I'm going to say this to you. The phone number is always the same. The contact, email, and text, 262-278-0157. The email, Sean, SEAN, at carbizdonebetter.com. And although I did go just a scotch over 10 minutes today, it's because it's extremely important to me that you hear me tell you this. In recap, we cannot afford to screw with our people's money. It's okay if they take time off and we're at work. And if you're a manager whose salespeople make more money than you, quit being a manager and start being a salesperson again. Stop feeling it necessary to knock people down a peg for overperforming at the jobs and pay plans that other people set up for them. The whole thing is total bull. Period. All right? So again, my apologies for taking up more than 10 minutes of your time. You know I don't like to do that, but this particular topic hits home. It hit home hard, and I had to get it out there. As a matter of fact, I went through a couple iterations of this podcast, and the one that I'm putting public is the one that's the most important to hear because it's the most honest truth. There were other versions of it that were nastier and everything else, and no, they'll never be heard by anyone because it's not important. This podcast is meant to bring it to you what's important when it's important. This topic is important. Please, I beg of you, let's all pay attention. Thanks.